Hi, I'm Melody Lau, and I recently graduated from the University of Arizona with majors in ecology, evolutionary biology, and East Asian studies with a cultural emphasis. I serve as the publicity and technology chair on the American side. Fun fact is that I did research on bees in my undergraduate career, so I studied their social behavior and nectar robbing behavior.
Hi everyone, my name is Jun Okada. I'm a student of Shimane University and major in life and environmental sciences. Shimane Prefecture has a lot of nature, so it's very nice place to study life and environmental science. Yeah, I want to research how the environmental factors affect the human bodies with a lot of approach. Um, yeah, at just 75. I work in public relations of Japan side. Hey, that's it. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What is your RT and what is it about? So our RT is the Culture and Arts RT. We focus on the interrelationships between culture and arts and people in society, as well as the role of culture and arts in the US-Japan relationship. And to do that, we'll be analyzing and understanding a wide range of cultural phenomena, practices, and forms in the past and present, and discussing topics such as soft power with food culture and pop culture, modernity and tradition, countercultures, subcultures, and cultural differences and customs. And we'll be exploring the various arts and how forms of cultural expression reflect and shape our interpretations, interactions, and identities. So the goal of our roundtable is to increase our understanding and appreciation of culture and arts, their impact on and reflection of people in society, and the role that they play in our relationships.
はい。この分科会では、文化、芸術が社会とどのように相互作用を起こすのかっていうことについて議論したりだとか、文化芸術が日米関係においてどのような影響をもたらすのか、またはもたらしてきたのかということについて主に議論していきます。文化はなぜ、違いが生まれていくのか、国によって違いが生まれていくのか、場所によって違いが生まれていくのかについて考えたりだとか、そういった文化がどのように人々に根付いていったりとか、世界に発信されていったりだとか、そういったことについて話して、議論していきたいというふうに思っています。そういった根本的な問いも含めるんですが、他にも具体的にポップカルチャーだったりとか、武道、他にもいろいろな文化がありますね。そういった文化について具体例を交えながら議論していこうというふうに思っています。That's it.
Why did you want to have this RT? So for me, there are many reasons. One is my background. I was born in Malaysia, which is this multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multilingual society. And the ethnic groups in Malaysia maintain separate cultural identities. This really affected how I perceived culture in society growing up, which was augmented by my academic background studying in China and the US and international and public school. And through this all, I interacted with people from different backgrounds, noticed similarities and differences in cultures, such as the regional, ecological, and other factors. And then it had me thinking a lot more about cultural identities and cultural expression, which I also like to explore our interactions and relationships with each other and with our environment from various perspectives. So things such as pop culture, the origins of cultural references, and why we find certain things funny. Was something that I'm interested in, and I explore some of that in the Technology and Heritage Roundtable in JAS 74. And I wanted to continue to think critically about culture and arts and investigate how they have adapted and evolved in jazz and with June.
Hi, I'm Jen. 僕が、なんでこの RT を作ったかっていうと、っていうことについてお話しします。僕は島根県に住んでいて、島根県って今、全国で2番目に外国人の、方が増えているっていう統計があって、その中でやっぱり文化の違いっていうものが、日常の中にあります。で、結構文化の違いだから仕方ないよねとか、あ、これ文化の違いじゃんって言って終わることが多いんですけど、 僕はなんでその文化の違いっていうものが生まれるのかなとか、それぞれ国によってなんで文化が違うのかなってことに疑問を持つようになりました。で、それによって人々の認識ってどうやって変わっていくんだろうなっていうことについても、興味がありました。だから、メロディーにお願いして、じゃあ一緒に、Culture and Arts RT やろうって言って、今、この RT ができました。That's it.
That's it. Okay. How does your roundtable relate to our conference theme foundations? So, culture informs the way we behave, interact with one another, communicate, and understand the world around us. In jazz and outside of jazz, we'll be experiencing cultural differences and even culture shock because we come from different places, backgrounds, and walks of life. In our roundtable, we want to think about our perceptions, cultural expressions, and relationships in the past and present, which all feed into our conference theme of foundations. So, learning about, engaging with, and understanding one's culture and other people's culture is part of building a foundation to future cooperation and understanding. Moreover, we'll be developing our cultural competence, which is loosely defined as our ability to understand, appreciate, and interact with people from different cultures or belief systems. And that will help establish a foundation for not only US Japan relations, but also our delegates to succeed in future endeavors.
はい。では、ファンデーションズっていうテーマについて、つながりを、話していきます。日本語のテーマは、価値の再考、未来の施策です。文化芸術 RT では、どんなことを話すかというと、先ほども述べた通り、なんで文化は生まれるんだろう、なんで文化の違いって生まれるんだろうとか、そういった根本的なテーマを、話していきます。で、なんで文化って守られなきゃいけないのかなっていう問いもあります。で、これらを話すことによって、根本をたどって話すことによって、価値の再考、文化とは、なんで必要なのか、そういった価値を再考することでつながっていると思います。そして、文化が今後どのように、文化芸術がどのように社会に影響を及ぼしていくのかについて、考える。ということは未来の施策とつながるのではないかなというふうに考えています。そういった意味で、テーマとつながりがあるのではないかと思います。That's it.
That's it. What do you expect from your future roundtable members? So, for me, I would like you to have, well, an interest in culture and arts, even if you just wondered or pondered about the impact, nature, or the meaning or intention of something in culture and arts. Um, if you ever kind of have an interest in something that is culture and arts, that's something that I would like future for delegates to have. I would also like future delegates to have the ability to respectfully discuss and even disagree with each other. So showing cultural sensitivity and cultural humility and having cultural awareness. And then two very important things that I think apply to jazz as a whole is just even if you're not very knowledgeable about a topic, making the effort to inform yourself by doing the research or asking others questions to learn is something that I think is very important. And also the ability to communicate and actually listen to your fellow delegates, being understanding and patient with each other and with yourself, giving each other room and space to speak and be heard is very important for jazz and for our culture and arts RT because you are engaging with individuals of diverse cultural and linguistic backgrounds. Mm.
はい。僕は日常の中でいろんなことに対して疑問を持ったりとか、問題意識を持っている方と一緒に議論ができればいいかなというふうに思っています。例えば、今ここにヒゲがついています。これはバーチャルで作っているヒゲなんですね。で、なんで、変なヒゲついてるなとか、これバーチャルのヒゲじゃないとか、冒頭から思っている方ももしかしたらいるかもしれません。このように日常の中にあるほんのちょっとした違和感だったりとか、なんだろうこれみたいなことに対して疑問を持ったりとか、問題意識を持っている学生さんと一緒に議論ができればいいかなというふうに思っています。というのも、文化や芸術って意外と表面上じゃなくて、私たちの身近なと、私たちの見えないところに根付いていたりするので、そういったことを考えるには結構日頃から問題意識を持って日常に対して日常の中でいろいろなことを考えている学生さんと一緒に お話しできればいいかなというふうに思っています。専門性とか知識は全然問わないので、はい、そういった方がぜひ来てくれると嬉しいと思っています。That's it.
That's it. Please apply to Jazz 75. Please
Please
apply.
apply.